Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Sundering Tarot. This is your Lionsgate Pick a Card reading. This is a timeless reading, so it's good for whenever you find it. So if you find this in 2030 and I'm filming it in 2023, it is still valid because it's an annual alignment. We're going to cover what are you creating during this time. It's a high manifestation energy, lots of law of attraction at play. So we're going to see exactly what is going on with everyone. I do have timestamps in the description box down below if you would like to expand the description box and fast forward to the portion where you pick your pile and then move on to your reading. I also have every deck I will be using for this particular reading in the description box down below. Please expand it if you are curious as to what decks I'm using, or if you can't identify a deck, or if I happen to not tell you what that is on accident. And background on this, as I said, this is an annual alignment. It's called the Lionsgate Portal or the 8-8 Portal. And this is an alignment of the Sun in Leo aligning with the planet Sirius, which is part of Orion's belt, and the planet of Earth. So this is an energy that usually takes a week or two, but it peaks on the 8th day of the 8th month, hence the 8-8 portal, because the Lionsgate peaks on the 8th of August. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into your piles. As you can see, I have 2 piles this time instead of my usual 4 to 6. That's awesome. So pick whichever one you are drawn to. We have the Light Seer's Tarot, which is pile number 1 on the left, and the Forest of Enchantment on the right. That is pile number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some time to choose your pile. Welcome, pile 1, to your reading. This is your timeless, what are you creating, Lionsgate reading. I have a cross for you out on the table. The main deck, of course, you chose was the Light Seer's Tarot by Chris Ann. And we'll be using the Mystical Cats Tarot and the Beautiful Beast Tarot to clarify. So let's go ahead and jump right into your reading. We have the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the 9 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords in the reverse, the High Priestess in the reverse, the Moon, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So for the Lionsgate Portal, the heart of the matter for you is actually pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You might feel a little lost, a little confused. May have been feeling like some of your efforts are in vain. You start off with this Queen of Wands in the reverse energy. So, not exactly standing in your power, not exactly embodying that creative, highly motivational, independent, unique energy that we often associate with the Queen of Wands. In fact, it feels like some bit of your identity might not be activated at this point. And part of that could just literally be, I'm getting the words analysis paralysis with the 9 of Swords. You may be doubting yourself. Whether that is a lack of confidence, you not believing that you have the power to influence your world, or having failed at a certain something numerous times, you're doubting whether or not it's achievable to begin with. So you're questioning your power, your ability. You put all this effort and energy into things, and you question whether or not that is the correct idea. Because the answers you get aren't exactly what you wanted. The outcomes that you were seeking are not exactly what shows up for you. But things at this period of time are actually being revealed to you if you pay attention. If you can slow your thought process down, if you can stop being a little bit on the negative side, that's putting it mildly, and pay attention to the cycles more of what's going on. Literally step back and just observe. Just purely observe. With unbiased eyes, by the way. You'll start noticing certain things. And that will actually help you move in the right direction. But first you kind of have to really pause and take it all in. And observe that. Because there's more going on than what you think. And your own opinion, your own viewpoint is actually hindering you. It's getting in the way. And that, of course, is not going to help you create anything. Negative mindsets tamper with things. They cloud things. They have you doubting yourself. The ego gets in the way. Opinions of others get in the way. And, of course, if you are wanting a certain result and you're not getting it, you might have let doubt just creep in. It may not necessarily be that you are creating wrong or what you're trying to accomplish is wrong, but there's pieces of the puzzle. There's information that you are lacking. So step back and pay more attention. See what else they want for the heart of the matter here. And I will say that there's not necessarily anything crippled and permanently wrong with your manifestation abilities. You do show up as a Queen of Wands. It's just you show up in the reverse instead of the upright. You are capable, fully capable. It's just the negative mindset, the doubt, the lack of self-confidence. It's getting in the road. So there's a focus issue. Okay, they gave us the Five of Cups in the reverse, Temperance in the reverse, and the King of Cups in the reverse. So yeah, you really don't need to be so disheartened to give up. That's not what this is about. This is about focusing on the correct things and hopefully having a bit more confidence in what you're doing and realizing that sometimes when things don't work out, it's a redirection. It's not necessarily that you're wrong or that you are lacking in any way. It's just you need to take a different approach. So don't be upset. There's things that are out of whack, unbalanced, and part of that is showing up as the Nine of Swords. Part of your focus and how you're speaking to yourself. You're probably going round and around. You're probably trying to talk yourself out of some things. And that's throwing you out of whack. It's actually messing with your emotions. You're not balanced in how you approach things. And with that, it means that you're not showing yourself compassion when you probably should. You're beating yourself up. You're also not making the correct connections that you need to make. And part of that, yes, is distraction, negative mindset. It can have an effect enough on your emotions that using your intuition, your third eye, your crown chakra, your gut, being able to connect with your feelings in a positive way and allowing yourself to follow that feeling, or what we call being in the flow, is rather difficult. So yes, things to definitely address, because this is the heart of the matter, is how we're managing our internal state of being at this time. If we come from a more approachable, more balanced, more grounded state of energy, it makes manifestation, it makes creation energy come a lot easier, which we don't necessarily see currently in this particular heart of the matter, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and jump into your obstacle, or how to get over the obstacle, pile one. Let's see what more they have to say. We have the Wheel, the Ace of Wands in the reverse, the Knight of Cups, the Five of Swords, the King of Swords, Judgment, the Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the Page of Wands in the reverse. And it's interesting that I mentioned to slow down and pay attention to cycles in our heart of the matter with the Moon card, because here we have the Wheel, and it's literally cycles, things that keep coming round and round, showing up again. Because if we repeatedly make the wrong action, if we're repeatedly not following our passion, it causes conflict. Particularly, it causes conflict between our head and our heart, which we see right here as the Knight of Cups with the King of Swords. So our emotions say one thing, but our head says another, and sometimes our mind has trouble computing those. And really the answer is right here with the Judgment and the Two of Pentacles. It's finding balance between the two. Knowledge and having reason and being logical is good, yes, but over-analyzing and doing nothing but thinking, ignoring your emotions is not going to help. Following your emotions but being totally reckless, which is funny because they gave us the Knight of Cups, which is a Romeo card, usually all in with the emotions and sometimes reckless with it, but sorry, that was just a side note. If you're all emotions and there's no logic and you're being totally rash, then that's not good either. There's a balance between the two that you have to have. There's your inner world should always be calm and grounded. Unfortunately, at this time, you are not grounded. Like I said, there's a focus issue. And traditionally on the Wheel of Fortune, you know, we usually have each element around and then the spokes of the wheel. And you see that in the inner part of this coin. The object of the wheel is, that, you know, sometimes it spins one way, sometimes it spins back the other. But if you are grounded and centered, you're actually in the center of the wheel. And you remain unfazed. You get to be amidst everything, while seeing it turn up and down, highs and lows, the good, the bad. But you're able to handle it because you're centered and grounded. It means you're relatively untouchable. Whereas if you're on one of the outer spokes, around and around you go, and where she stops, nobody knows, as they say. So not having balance, of course things are not what you want, and not knowing what's the best way to get what you want is preventing you from taking action. Part of that analysis paralysis of, okay, well, I tried this, it doesn't work. Well, what else is there to try? It won't work. It won't. You might be stuck in a little bit of an energy where you've kind of backed yourself into a corner, or you've almost convinced yourself to give up. And that's a hurdle that, you know, you have to overcome. But finding your balance between your head and your heart, what your emotions tell you versus what your head, your inner voice keeps on chattering in your ear, or your ego keeps chattering in your ear. For those that keep telling you, oh no, you can never accomplish that, that's a ridiculous goal, you know, not listening to those people and finding your center is important. It'll help you focus and to move forward. Let's see what else they want to add. Using the laws of attraction, having high manifestation energy, of course, usually comes from a more centered, more grounded place where your head and your heart are in agreement, because you're entering a flow state, so it raises your vibration. This, of course, it says that there's a conflict there, and you probably, yes, have low energy, are feeling drained, or feeling put out. Like I said, you have a lack of power, hence why you showed up as the Queen of Wands in the reverse. And I say Queen of Wands, this is all about the traits and the energy. It's not a gender specific reading. So if you are a male, yes, you can still be the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Alright, Spirit. What else did you want to add for the obstacle, or how to get over the obstacle? And of course the first card that came out here was the Two of Swords. They want it in the upright. So we have the Two of Swords, the Hermit, and the Empress. So yes, you have a choice on how you approach this. And if you do pause and look at that whole cycle, the things that keep repeating that don't work, you'll start to realize things. And that will tap you into the energy of, where do I go next? It shows up here as the Empress. You end up getting more knowledge about what not to do, what direction that you've been going in that you don't need to go into. So with that, like I said, it's a redirect. You'll literally be told what area is more abundant, what area is more fruitful, what more positive direction you need to go in. But like I said, that's a choice, whether or not you pause and figure it out, rebalance, and notice that repeating cycle that we discussed also in the Heart of the Matter with the Moon card. I would like to say that you're, you know, having flying colors when it comes to manifesting the biggest dream you have on earth, but it sounds like a lot of what you are creating right now seems to be a little bit of a harder time on yourself, and it's not necessarily what you wanted, what you needed, or what you asked for, but hopefully by the end of this reading, once we hit the outcome, you'll have an easier time of it. Let me see if there's anything else they want to add. Oh, okay. They're highlighting the, here, let me just pick it up and show it to you. Because this is the Ace of Wands, and of course the wand is literally over the third eye chakra in this card. One of the reasons why you are uncertain and are having issues with your knowledge, your creativity, is because that chakra is blocked, and that is because you have this conflict. Your mind and your emotions are out of whack. So One of the ways you can rebalance that, of course, is to unblock that one chakra and see if that improves a little bit. Meditate. Use third eye chakra music. Some of you, I know, will make a third eye chakra essential oil blend and put it on your chakra and force it open that way. Whatever practice you would like to take, go for it. But that is one of your trouble areas, is your third eye chakra. It's also why we had the High Priestess in your Heart of the Matter show up in the reverse. And it's all because your third eye is blocked. So intuition is not as strong. Go ahead and jump right into the recent past here. Maybe this will give us some more knowledge. We have the Six of Wands in the reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Because we do have a king and a queen here of the same suit, I have to say, maybe some of your malfunction right now is because you had a relationship that had failed in the recent past, and that is affecting you. That will not resonate for everyone. So, you know, as this is a general thing, that particular part of this pick a card may not resonate to everyone. So if it doesn't, leave it behind, take the rest. But for the most part, yes. There's several failures. There's several stops and starts. You found out repeatedly how not to do things. How, you know, I don't want to say you figured out how to fail, because that is a bad way to phrase that. That is really bad. And that's not so nice. But here's the thing. Every time you fail at something, you learn. You learn you didn't need that item. You learned that way wasn't successful. You learned that wasn't how you should have managed something. So past experiences, as much as you may be taking a negative approach of, oh, I should just give up. This isn't for me. This isn't what I wanted. This is not going the way I hoped. This is not the outcome that I wanted. The potential I thought that was here is not here. I was wrong. That may not necessarily be true. And if you've been stuck in the same energy as what we have in the Heart of the Matter for quite some time, of course, the recent past things haven't been working out for a while. And part of that, yes, is if you are out of balance, if you are not in alignment, or if you are being more pessimistic, if you are lacking focus, that's going to affect things. If you're in a flow state, if you have balanced, grounded energy, that's a high vibration manifestation, creating the things that you want, being happy about your results, will naturally come. But if you've been beaten down repeatedly with failures because you don't realize that you are out of alignment, that you have blockages that need to be cleared, of course you're going to have a hard time. And yes, eventually that wears on a person and they might want to give up. That might be where that energy is resonating from. Oh, I forgot to put my crystal over here. So let's go ahead and see what else they would like to add for your recent past, because that's interesting. Spirit, what else can you tell us about the recent past? Okay. Interesting. Okay, they gave us the Emperor, the King of Wands, the Empress, so we have matched pairs yet again, the High Priestess, or no, sorry, the Hierophant, and the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. So for the failed relationship, you literally had to learn what relationships were worth trying to keep, to build, to have, and basically a relationship that was worth it. One that was not as, controlling, one that had more freedom, that was worth the growth, the potential, and the vibration that you both met at. So you might have had a karmic partner, and of course that relationship failed because you needed to learn about what relationships should and shouldn't be. Other than that, for those that do not resonate with that particular energy, it seems like, yes, you are capable. You do have high potential. And sometimes part of your reason why things have failed is you've literally let your ego get in the way. You've also done things that you didn't have a passion for. So the motivation was a little on the low side. Let's put it that way. Your urge to create was there, but the motivation, the drive to actually carry it through, even though you were capable, was not there. So you had to learn that your resourcefulness, your own inner fire, was not there to help you create. I could totally be like, yeah, I want to be creative. I want to do something awesome and inspiring, and yeah, and have that take charge personality, and then somebody goes, oh, well, we're going to do this about building an engine, and you're all like, I hate cars. So your motivation, all that bright enthusiasm you had, goes down into the drain. All because you didn't like it. You were trying to pair with something that probably was not what you wanted, not what you expected, and you just didn't like it. Your head probably said, yeah, let's do this, and your heart went, That's probably a very bad example, but there you go. From me to you, a very bad example. But when you have the drive, the motivation, the enthusiasm, as well as the knowledge and the creative urge to do something, and it's the right thing, that's when things hit that sweet spot where they come easy, and it's like everything opens up, the red carpet's laid out, and that's your flow state. But getting there and realizing what direction and how much energy, while balanced, you need, it is kind of a hard thing to quantify sometimes. Sometimes we're facing the right direction and we're putting enough energy in, but sometimes our heart's not in it, and it's because we're exhausted. And that's literally where we're out of balance. We're not rested. So the mind and whatnot is all ready to go with the creative project that we're so excited about, but our body is all, I want to sleep. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, we're going to keep on moving on and see what more comes up for you at this time period. This is the lowest you can achieve. We have the Hierophant showing up again. the King of Cups showing up again, the Ten of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. More tens. Okay. So we've got to learn how to take care of ourselves. When times get tough, when we think things are too difficult, we also have to learn how to connect to our heart space, how to make the correct connections at the same time. Because as things get harder, things get difficult, things get heavier, when we let fear start to overtake us, showing ourselves the most kindness, the most care, and staying connected to where our knowledge, our brain, and our heart are connected, it is everything. Sometimes we beat ourselves up too much. Sometimes we literally talk ourselves out of things. Sometimes we hit a speed bump and it throws us out of alignment, and then we realize how difficult things are, and when we spend too long a time out of alignment, we want to give up because it's too much, it's too heavy, and sometimes we just feel like we can't deal. And sometimes we have to learn that yes, things are hard, but we can deal with it. We are capable. We can make the right connections. We can treat ourselves kinder while we deal with those things. Because everything comes with difficulties. Everything comes with a certain amount of burdens, headaches, hard work. And we have to realize that. Nothing is going to be handed to you on a silver platter. It's going to take effort of some sort. Add for the lowest we can achieve here. Five of Swords. Yes. How we deal with conflict. Conflict resolution right there. So yes, in the face of the obstacles, the burdens, the adversities, the speed bumps, as it were, how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, and how we think about it is a learning process, and hopefully we get better with that over time. And of course, I just now realized what I did. I picked these up and put them back with the beautiful beast here. Okay, now that I corrected that, and it's not going to annoy me, we're going to move on to the highest we can achieve. They only gave us one card, which is the Page of Cups in the reverse. So realizing basically where we're blocked and how to unblock it. That is the highest we can achieve. I already mentioned that your third eye chakra is probably clogged. That is an obstacle. You being out of alignment between your head and your heart is a creative blockage. And if you want to move forward, of course, addressing that and contending with it is a definitely good advice and something that you should probably avail yourself of as quickly as possible. Because until you deal with that, until you get yourself back into alignment, your creativity, your motivation to succeed, and your ability to do so is going to be hindered. Hence why we have failure showing up here in the recent past. And it's because the misalignment has been there long enough that it is showing up. So let's go ahead and continue forward to the near future. We have the Fool in the reverse. We have the lovely Six of Cups card. I love this card. And we have the Strength. Yes, I do love this. Because that means we've learned from our past mistakes and we're confidently moving forward. We're using in our, tapping into our strength. In other words, the Queen of Wands that we saw in our overall energy, the heart of the matter, goes from reverse to upright. We're able to notice those signs, the things that keep circling back around, what's being revealed by that moon card. We see our blockages. We're able to help clear that. We're learning from the past, and we're carrying that lesson forward, and we're doing so in a powerful way, which is fantastic, because that means we probably have a really positive outcome over here. I didn't see all the cards as they came out. Sometimes they come out in chunks. So, yeah, that looks good. So we're turning things around. Our ability to function, to have a higher vibration, to manifest, does have the capability of doing a 180. And I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, okay. I probably don't want to give it from this deck, but I'm getting it from the Six of Cups. I will put this aside for a minute. I do love this Six of Cups. It's so adorable. It's one of my favorites. They are actually giving me that you're getting back in touch with a piece of yourself that you haven't had for a while. So as you regain balance, as you assimilate the lesson here going forward that you've been blocked from for a while, you regain a piece of yourself. You're back to being more authentically you. And that seems to be one of the things that might also be revealed by the moon card we had in our heart of the matter, is you unearthing the real you. Whether or not that is you've been tried and tested and this is the new and improved you that is more authentic, or if in the case of the past relationship that ended badly, this is you relearning how to be you again, to stand on your own 2 feet and have the confidence to move forward and open new doors in your world, to go get what you want in life. Okay. Yeah, they said they don't want this deck anymore. Okay. We covered that energy. They got it through that card. I am totally fine with that. Hopefully you guys are too. Okay, and advice. Pile number 1. We have Temperance in the reverse. We have the Three of Wands. And we have the Five of Cups. Okay. You probably don't want to hear this, but it's advice, and it's to prompt you to do something. So when you are misaligned, that just compounds the problem. It will get worse if you ignore it. And having a pity party and doing the woe is me, getting stuck in that analysis paralysis, just giving up and ignoring it, pretending it doesn't exist, not paying attention to it, is not going to solve anything. It's really not going to solve anything. It just compounds the problem. It just helps it grow. And it makes it worse. It makes you feel worse. So you're going to have to do something. Actively go out and center yourself, ground yourself, you know, go take a walk in nature, do, you know, the third eye chakra music, do a meditation, go exercise, whatever it is to realign yourself. Regaining your balance is key for your function if you want to do so freely and not have a hindrance that's just going to compound everything and give you more of the same of what you've been dealing with. Alright, Spirit, anything else for advice? So yes, the advice is to find your blockages and clear it out. Don't allow it to get worse. They gave us the Page of Swords. And the reverse, they gave us the Grace card, which is the Temperance, which you see right here. So they gave us Temperance twice. The Four of Wands, and then the Seven of Swords in the reverse. And you may feel like there's no shot in the dark of regaining balance, of creating things for the better. So why hope? But that's all in your head. Balance is attainable. You can be successful with it. You just have to stop running from it. It's there. You can't listen to that that negative voice in your head saying, well, you can't do that, or everybody else that keeps telling you that. It's possible, and like I said, ignoring it compounds the problem. Okay, the environment. We have the Two of Cups, the Six of Swords, the Tower reversed, and the Star reversed. So currently, this is where you're at. You're able to balance out, be in full connected harmony, and move forward to free yourself. That is fully and readily available to you. But at the same time, you haven't changed anything, and you haven't started healing anything at this current point in time. So, like I said, your advice here, not changing anything, is just going to get worse. But if you stop running from it, you can change it. It's available. It's just whether or not you're going to get out of your own way, if you're going to do the work. Because everything right now it's halted. It's disjointed. It's like having a massive machine with all these gears going round and around. And normally they interlace and they turn. Well, if you take out enough gears, the machine is useless. Things cease to turn. The mechanics cease to function properly. And it's because you're missing gears and they're not making the right connections to pull things through anytime. And that's kind of what you've got. You've got a disjointedness. So yeah, things a little clogging up the works here. And it's best to, degum the works. Oh, just want this one. Anything else to add for the environment? Before we move on. And you saw me shuffle this deck. And yet they gave us the Page of Swords again, this time in the upright. So it's all about whether or not you take the initiative. If you start inquiring about how to change things, if you start trying to protect yourself and your energy, being grounded, being stable, being centered, it's that ability to be at the center of the wheel. Okay, we're going to keep moving on, folks. Okay, hope and or fear. We have the Hangman, the Hermit in the reverse, and the Ten of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so fear. That we're literally going to get stuck. Nothing will ever change. We won't see any happiness. We won't have a brighter future. We won't have the good fun time with the creative results, all the joys, the dreams, the happiness that we wish to have, want to have, could create, all those possibilities, that they will stay where they're at, where they will be stagnated and they will be beyond our reach. That is the fear. And that could very well keep us stuck if we lean into that negative energy. And remember, the Lionsgate portal is a time where manifestation is easier. So you get a boost whether or not you think you want something positive or negative. You get a boost, which means laws of attraction are highly at play. So if you're stuck in this negative Nelly, this fear mode, or survival mode, whichever way you want to put it, of course, this is what you're going to manifest. This is what you're going to create if this is what you're going to lean into. And this is part of that Nine of Swords energy we saw in our Heart of the Matter. This is not the energy we would like to keep. Page of Swords. We literally just had the Page of Swords out of this deck for your environment. It's opportunity. Yes, taking the initiative and changing things, realizing we can change things, doing so, wanting to protect our balance, our energy, our peace, to protect our dreams, to protect our hope of the future. And for that, yes, we have to let go of the fear. It's one of the things we have to realize is sometimes we can self-sabotage, and it's in how we think and how we feel about things. And when we lean too far to the negative, well, the universe tries to match a certain energy. And if that's all you give is a low vibration, fear, pain, anger, grief, that's what the energy says. That's what the universe gives you back. It's the law of attraction, I'm afraid. So yes, protect your energy. Take the initiative. Get the idea to change this. That way you don't inadvertently manifest something that you didn't want. That way you don't sabotage yourself. That way you don't energetically muddy the waters. I don't know if that's an appropriate saying, but it works, I suppose. All right, pile number 1. Here's your outcome. We have the Chariot, which is a fantastic card. The 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. Ooh, the Magician. And we have the lovely 4 of Wands. Okay, I like this because that means we're moving on from our past mistakes, the things that we weren't working on, the things we weren't paying attention to, where we were distracted and not perfecting, not growing, not being in alignment. And we're changing that. We're using everything to our ability towards the more positive side, to be more successful, to gain freedom, which means we're unblocking ourselves. It means we're clearing up our chakras. It means we're identifying where we're wasting our energy. It means that we're also not giving in to fear at the same time. So we're utilizing our lessons, we're gaining balance, and we're moving forward, and we're doing it in a proactive way to get the future, the dreams, and the goals that we hoped for. And we can find freedom in that, because we're no longer stuck. We're actually more embracing our own unique personality. We're reclaiming our power. We're utilizing the energy and effort we have in a concise manner, because of course the magician has all the potential of energy inside him and the tools to do so, and the knowledge in order to utilize it. So where we've started at in this reading for you is kind of a hot mess. It was a disjointed clutter. There was definitely fears, but the potential is to overcome those, to clear out the blockages, to have success, and the capability of being proactive to create whatever we seek, which is fantastic. That is a fantastic turnaround. That is awesome. Six of Pentacles, balance. Yep, you needed balance. Literally from our advice over here. Out of whack. Need to recorrect balance. It means that your outcome, you have balance. Balance in all things, not just where we are in our alignment, not where we are just within our mind and in our heart, but the energy we give, which means we can steadily give energy to the things that we need to in order to create. And the universe, therefore, can give back to us in the appropriate manner because we are giving in the way we need to. That is fantastic. All right, pile one. That is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading, and if any of this resonated, please by all means hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share this video anywhere online, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. Welcome, pile 2, to your What Are You Creating? Timeless 8/8 Portal reading. Alright, our main deck we're using for this Celtic cross I have on the table for you is the Forest of Enchantment. It is the card backing here that you selected. I will be using the Heaven and Earth Tarot and the Magical Dogs Tarot to clarify for this reading. So let's go ahead and get started. As I send cards flying. For the heart of the matter, we have the Black Shuck, which is our death card. The Forge, which is temperance. The Huntsman, which is justice. The Weaver of Bones, so that's our Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Our Seven of Swords. The Moon card. The Page of Pentacles. The Ace of Wands. The Seven of Cups. The Nine of Cups. The Wise Woman, which is our High Priestess. The Eight of Cups. The Four of Wands. The King of Wands. And the Three of Swords. Okay. I actually kind of really like this for you, pile 2, because you're kind of like a scientist. You're letting things operate in a way where if it's balanced, if it's a positive result for what you're wishing to create, you head more in that direction. But if you put energy into things and you try different variables and what you get out does not work, so if it's a failed experiment, you may, you run away from that energy. You go ahead and you leave that failed experiment behind. And that's because you learned one way of not to do something. And then you use that as an opportunity to go, okay, well, what's the new way I can think of to try this again and make it work, or hopefully make it work. So you literally get inspired again. You make a new choice. You have all the hope that you will have it work the next time around with what knowledge you've gained from the failed experiment. So you've left what doesn't work completely behind, and the hopes that it'll be successful, that the energy that you're putting it into for the next time around will be easier, that you won't have another failed experiment. So it's that try again energy. You're learning, okay, so that didn't work. Well, what else is there? What other avenue is there for me to try and get this to work? And if it fails again, well, then you're just like, okay, so I've learned 2 ways now of not how to do something. So what else is the possibilities of possible things that I could learn how to accomplish this? And you try again. So you're changing variables is what happens with this Forge card, which is the Temperance card. And this is why I'm equating you a little bit to a scientist, is you're literally setting up your own experiments. You have variables, you have the control, you have the goal, the outcome you have in mind. And when it fails, you assimilate that knowledge and go, okay, that doesn't work. Well, let's try it again in a way where we have different variables and see if it works. And that's actually really nice, because you can't expect things to get created, to manifest, to show up the way you want them to the first time around. I mean, if I could say, hey, money grows on trees and I'm going to win the lottery tomorrow, and for it to happen like that, would be, I'd be flabbergasted, really. But that's not how the world works. You can't just say, oh yeah, $1 million is going to land in my lap tomorrow at lunchtime, and then actually have that happen. No, that's not, that is not realistic for most of us. But when we are willing to put in the hard work, we will find ways of getting things done. And that's literally what you're doing. This is how you seem to be operating. And that is fantastic, because that means you have a little bit more experience when it comes to your energy and how to use it, and how to redirect yourself sometimes. Now, does that mean you always learn what's revealed to you in something that it is a failure instead of a success, or a seemed failure? No, that doesn't mean that you get it right away. It just means that eventually it clicks. You make the connection of, okay, that's how not to do something. So let's figure out a way to actually do it. Okay, they want to come over here. Right there. What do you want to add for the Heart of Matter for pile 2? Oh, almost flung it right off the table. We have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. The Six of Wands. The Eight of Earth. The Lovers in the reverse. And the Hermit. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely say anything that is a failed opportunity, that failed experiment, is still a success. And it's because of all the experience we've gained. So even though it wasn't the right connection, it means we're able to look at it, examine it, and assimilate knowledge. So there is still something gained. It is still worth doing, even if it's a failure. So just because something fails doesn't mean it's not a success in some form. It's just another way of learning to do something or not to do something, is what they're pointing out. And that is entirely correct. I love that they gave you that energy again, because that's very much what I'm getting, is the scientific mind aspect going. In which case, you and I could probably be friends, because that speaks to my INTJ soul right there. Alright, and we are going to move right along here to our obstacle, or how to get over our obstacle. Assuming I don't shove cards right out of the frame. Alright, we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. The Queen of Cups in the reverse. The King of Swords in the reverse. The Liar, which is our Devil, in the reverse. The Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. The Eight of Swords in the reverse. The Two of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Enchanted Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune, in the reverse. Okay. So keeping with that theme of having a failed experiment, when something does not play out correctly or the way that we had hoped, and is discouraging, not exactly the information we were hoping for, the result we were hoping for, if we don't attach ourselves to that outcome of that failure and realize that it's just a resource that we didn't need, okay, that it was indeed a failure, and that does not mean that it's not a success. It's just not the correct way to go about things. That frees us up. That actually, if we really think about it, isn't going to keep us stuck if it's a failed experiment, as long as we don't attach to that particular outcome. And that's all because if we do attach to that outcome, that failed experiment, and be like, well, that was what I wanted. That's how I was going to do it. It's the only way to do it. That is not the correct choice, not the right connection. It's actually going to be detrimental to basically hold on to that as the only way of doing things, as the only result, the only possible path, the only possible route, the only possible experience. Let me put my tongue back in my mouth. The only possible experiment to get it done. So don't attach yourself to, hey, I experimented with something, it failed. Well, I can never succeed at that ever again because the experiment failed, and there's only one way to try to experiment with this. There's only one way to accomplish this. There's more than one way of doing things. So as long as we keep that in our head, in our mind, and acknowledge that, we won't get stuck. We won't stalemate ourselves. We won't roadblock ourselves. We won't back ourselves into a corner. So it's that keeping an open mind. Oh, okay. Sorry, I've been redirected to the heart of the matter. They want the Seven of Cups. There we go. It's learning to realize that we need to get inspired and choose again. That we change variables, that we make a different choice. That there's literally more than one way of doing things, so we just need to pick the next one and try it out. Do another experiment. my crystal back on the stack. Let's go ahead and see what else I would like to add for this. Keeping an open mind seems to be pretty key. So definitely being logical and using our head is going to help. Yeah, we have the Chariot and the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Keep moving forward despite the failures. You tried to put 2 and 2 together and to make 4. Instead, you put 2 and 2 together and it made 8. It may not add up correctly the logical way that you thought would happen for certain circumstances, certain situations with what you're trying to accomplish. But if we take that and move forward, you know, pick ourselves back up and continue to trudge on, it is the best that we can hope for. Like I said, it'll make sure that we don't get stuck inadvertently. Now that I've made a mess out of this table, let me clean it up a little bit. Okay, and the recent past, we have the Page of Cups in the reverse, and then we have the Page of Swords also in the reverse. So in the past, there's probably a lot of disappointment and a lot of things you didn't know. A lot of failed experiments, most likely. Not knowing which way to go, but you're moving on. You're still going. You're still trying. You're still hoping. Okay, what else would you like to add from the recent past? And for those that have just entered the creation stage, it could very well be that in the past you didn't know what you wanted. You also didn't know how to go about getting it. Okay, we have the Justice in the reverse, and we have the Star in the reverse. Okay. Yeah. A little bit of inexperience, lack of knowledge, putting effort in the wrong spot and losing hope. A little bit of a conflict there. Like I said, failed experiments. You might have had a lot of them. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to give up either. Like I said, just because you have one failed experiment doesn't mean that there isn't a way to succeed. We're going to come down here. This is the lowest we can achieve. So we have the Queen of Wands, the Hermit reversed, the Nine of Wands in the reverse, the Two of Cups in the reverse, the Three of Boons, which is the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, the Two of Wands in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, Suspension, which is our Hangman in the reverse, the Ace of Cups in the reverse, the Knight of Cups in the reverse, the Sun in the reverse, the Four of Swords in the reverse, the Nine of Swords in the reverse, the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Cups in the reverse, the Six of Wands in the reverse, the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, and we end on the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, I'm going to nudge this over temporarily. Okay, for the lowest we can achieve, this feels very much of an energy of kind of wanting to create out of sheer will, of constantly putting your energy, your effort, all your motivations in an area without assimilating the knowledge that you could have gained from your failures, not putting those connections together, not building or focusing on a game plan of how to try it again with different variables. And because you may blindly move forward without assimilating that knowledge, of course, that might lead to another failure. As much as, you know, try again will work, if you don't change anything, if you don't learn what variables, new information would help you improve, there's still a gaping hole. And of course, because that will lead to another failure, that means you can't rest, you can't stop, because you haven't succeeded yet. And what really needs to happen, of course, is to realize that you don't need to stress yourself out. You need to actually take the opportunity to learn from those failures. Even if you're disappointed in them, learn why they failed. Learn why you didn't get the outcome you wanted. Learn what aspects are incorrect. So this feels like a need to look deeper. So some of the information might literally fly over your head. And it's all because with the Two of Wands right here, you're not focusing on it. You're just really on to the next thing. Missing details. You know, the little nuances, they might literally be absent. You might be a little rash as well, moving forward full steam ahead without acclimating the information correctly. It's like setting up a bad experiment, knowing that there's variables you should change and then not doing so, and then rushing through it again just to test the same experiment to see if it'll fail. You know, expecting a different outcome. Ooh, that didn't come all the way out. Okay, they give us the Three of Cups, the Three of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Earth, and then the Page of Wands. And that they're bringing that back to the same thing. Learn to support yourself better going forward from the failures. So the things that didn't work. And as much as they can be heavy burdens and annoying and maybe a little confusing, that failure, that perceived weakness that you might have, or just heavy disappointment, there's something to be gained that you can take forward on the second try or the third try, or however many times you need to try it at something. But you have to have that information, because the next time you try, it'll be more successful, but you have to get that information. That's what I was getting down here towards the bottom, is just throwing your willpower at it without assimilating that knowledge will not support you. So yes, support yourself, even if going into the failures and looking at it deeper is uncomfortable. There's still things to be gained that you can carry forward. And that is actually knowledge. Oh, okay. And they are pointing me towards the apples in the tree here on the 10 of Pentacles. There is knowledge that you need. Like I said, if you're unfocused and going full steam ahead, just putting energy in it, you have that drive and motivation, so you're just steamrolling yourself basically and being unfocused on the knowledge that you need to assimilate before moving on, you're going to miss the details. It's just not going to be there. So there's a deeper look that needs to be had. There is that analytical mind that needs to be used thoroughly before we just leap right in and keep on going. So just like a scientist, sometimes you really need to stop after an experiment, whether that is a success or a failure, and analyze the data. Okay, did this work? Did this not work? Why did this work? Why did this not work? So don't skip that process. Don't be in such a hurry and wanting just to jump from point A to point B and keep on going with that momentum that you forget that step. Okay, we're going to go on to the highest we can achieve. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the 10 of Wands in the reverse. We have the 2 of Swords in the reverse. We have the 5 of Cups in the reverse. The 7 of Wands. The Star in the reverse. The Empress in the reverse. The Lovers in the reverse. The Folly, which is the Tower. The 6 of Cups in the reverse. And the 6 of Swords in the reverse. Okay. So for the highest we can achieve, learning where to invest our energy to where we are not making it harder on ourselves, to where we are lightening the load for ourselves. So we're not doing a lot of heavy lifting or making things overly complicated for ourselves is great. And that's the energy that we need to stick to. We need to persist in. Even if we don't exactly see why that works or how it works or have hope too much in it, if we're kind of a little bit of a negative defeatist energy starting to kick in there. we also have to use that motivation to tackle that energy. That's what they're giving me. Okay. Making it easier on ourselves with energy we put in, and keeping that motivation, that energy going. That way, when that defeatist energy does kick in and we lack the connection, the heart to accomplishing the goal, when we feel kind of the despair that it's never really going to create, to manifest, to have that positive outcome, to change that, to stop in our tracks and go, wait, time out. That's not going to help us. It's not going to turn out the same way it was in the past. You know, just because in the past we've tried this and it failed does not mean it's going to fail now. Okay, pep talk right here, right? Pep talk. That's kind of what this feels like. It is talking yourself out of a downward spiral. Sometimes you have to do that, though. Because you don't want to be stuck in the past, and you don't want to hold on to that energy. So with the past failure or failures, depending on how many times you've tried something, we have to change how we look at it, how we approach it. Making things easier on ourselves. Persisting in a correct way. Assimilating knowledge. Changing to a more positive outlook. To keep on going. Endurance. Perseverance. We need more of that. Whereas we showed up with the Queen of Wands here, and the lowest we could expect, having that motivation, persistence, and sheer willpower of blindly trying things. This is being smarter about it. Yes, we still have willpower. We can still move forward. We're wanting to embrace that, but we're trying to embrace that while having the knowledge to be proactive and get out of our own way while not spiraling downward. So it's kind of a more balanced approach to how we do things, and wanting to be slightly more structured. So not fast and loose with variables, rules, and the way we approach things. We're being more concise. We're being a little bit more tactful. We're being a little bit more skilled about it. And I apologize for my dog. I probably have packages being delivered. So, of course, he needs to bark. So everybody say hello to Shadow. Okay, I'm going to go over here. We have the Knight of Wands and the Three of Fire. Yes. Persistence. Having better boundaries. Ooh, and the Seer, so the Hangman. Being able to expand on ideas, expand our energy, but doing it in a way that allows us greater knowledge, greater capability, greater skill. This also means we're moving at a slower pace, but it's done with an intention that has a bigger payoff, because we're able to expand, grow, learn, assimilate, and utilize energy, resources, time, effort, money better for an outcome. Knight of Pentacles and the World. Yes, planning better, strategizing, and coming full circle. In other words, completing, have a better outcome. Utilizing our time and energy wisely. So whereas the lowest we can expect, or the lowest we can achieve during this time with what we're creating, is kind of like a really sloppy experiment and rushing through it. Sheer willpower. The highest we can expect is something more structured. Like I said, more tactful, more skilled. Utilizing knowledge gaining experience, gaining knowledge, and using that to the best of our ability. We're persistent in it, but we're not so rushed that we miss things. It's dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Like I said, don't skip the analyzing data step. And in this placement, the highest we can achieve, you don't skip that step. And as much as things can be discouraging sometimes, having not skipped that step does have a payoff. All right, and we're going to move right on to our near future. We have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. So that means probably less roadblocks, less obstacles, less holding us back. This also means either bigger major successes coming our way, because if it was more failures, we would have this in the upright. We'd be down and out, we'd be out in the cold, we'd have things taken to us, taken from us, things not being quite as successful. And instead we have it in the reverse, which is lovely, because that means we're making progress. It means we're seeing things change. It also means that our efforts that we've been putting in towards a favorable outcome that we've wanted to create, things we want to manifest, things that we would like to succeed and be happy in, we can literally have the opportunity to actually have that outcome because we're not being held back. So, advice. We have the Enchanter, which is the Magician in this deck. We have the Four of Cups in the reverse. And the Council of Animals, which is Judgment. Okay. So, any ideas that we have? Any, flashes of inspiration? Any of those moments where we have to start over? Act on it. Do it. Don't just think about it. Do it. Use everything at your disposal. And if something fails, try a different tool. Try a different way. Try a new variable. It's that try again energy, because eventually you'll find the right one. It's there. It's available. You just have to choose the correct one. Have to use the right tool for the job. And if you don't keep on trying, if you don't keep on doing, and you just get stuck in that downward spiral that says, I can't do this. This will never work. You'll get stuck in this Four of Pentacles in the upright energy. And that's not what you want to have. That's not where you want to be. It's not where you need to be. So yes, keep on trying. Make different choices. Change your variables. Keep on trying. You will find a way to succeed. Oh, wow. That was a lot. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Knight of Swords. The Seven of Swords, Death in the reverse, the Ace of Cups in the reverse, and the Lovers in the reverse. Yeah, don't hold on to any of your failures. Keep on moving. Choose a new direction. Keep on moving. It's not over even if you have a bad result. It's only over if you give in to the bad result and don't choose again. If you don't change anything, if you don't choose something else, if you just give up. So no, stick with that try again energy, because eventually you will hit the nail on the head. It's readily available. You just have to make the right choice. Pick the right variable. Pick the right one. Pick the right path. Pick the right road. Keep on going. Try again. Okay, and the environment. We have the fairy wind, which is the chariot in this deck. And we have the Five of Swords in the reverse. You are free to move. You are free to go and try and do anything. You are not being held back in any way except for you holding yourself back. And you have the willpower. The willpower showing up yet again from the chariot. You have the willpower. That is not the problem. That really is not the problem so much. It's whether or not you slow down and assimilate the correct knowledge, or you let the negative results get to you to where you give up. That you self-depreciate, you self-negative talk, and start telling yourself that you can't do it, you can't accomplish it, that it's not worth it, that you should just quit. You know, it's that downward spiral that I was picking up on before. As long as you don't give in to that, you can move forward. That's about the only really big hang up is your own mindset on this. As long as you don't get discouraged, you can have the ability to move and the willpower to do so at all times. Okay, I'm going to do the hope and or fear. This is the Five of Wands, the Emperor, the Ten of Cups, the Queen of Swords in the reverse, the Six of Pentacles, the Three of Wands in the reverse, the Ten of Swords in the reverse, and we end on the Strength card. Okay, this is very much a hope. It's that all your experimentation, all the testing you've been doing, that eventually you will hit the right one and get the outcome that you're wanting. In other words, you hit the jackpot. So even though there is things that you clearly do not know, or may be uncertain about, that all your efforts, all the energy you've been putting into it does pay off. That your complications won't get in the way. That you won't have so many obstacles and things compounding things. Instead, you will be able to streamline and be fluid towards your success. That you have that willpower, that confidence to hit that goal, to achieve what you wish to achieve. And that it would all be worth it, because you're still standing at the finish line having pulled it off. So yes, hope for success. Okay. Okay, we have the Trickster, which is the Devil in the reverse, the Two of Wands in the reverse, now don't focus on the negative outcomes so much. Don't hold on to those. Let them go. Keep the information, the knowledge that you've gained, that analysis of the data portion that I was talking about earlier. But don't hang on to the negative mental state. Don't hang on to the negative outcomes, the failures, the failed experiments that you've had before, that they've, influenced your next shot at accomplishing what you wish to accomplish. So don't Don't let negative results impact future experiments, future attempts. Let past knowledge influence your next experiments or your next attempts. Keep the information, push away the negative emotion. And hopefully that made sense without being overly complicated with my rambling. Alright, and we're going to do outcome. We have the Three of Cups in the reverse. We have the oldest one, which is our Hierophant, in the reverse. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Swords. Tis but a scratch. Sorry. We have the White Heart, which is our Fool, in the reverse. We have the Page of Wands in the reverse. We have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. We have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. And we end on the World card. Okay. This goes back to our restructuring and doing things better. Because our way of approaching things wasn't supporting us. We weren't learning correctly. We weren't structuring and organizing things the best way. We were holding on to some things that really needed to go. So to face the right direction, please go ahead and hold more onto the knowledge, less of the emotion, as I said earlier. And that's for, you know, previous failed attempts, the opportunities that did not pan through, all the challenges that you may have failed to rise to. Slow down all that mental anguish, the negative self-talk, as I said, assimilate the knowledge, restructure, and then start again. Because when you do that, you'll have a better result. So support yourself better, basically, is what they're giving me. So when you have a failed attempt, realize what didn't work, what does work. Hold on to what did work, a part of that, and what new knowledge you gained from it. And yes, by all means, slow down and realize what those items are, and then start again. Slow down the process if you need to. Make sure you assimilate the knowledge, that data analyst portion that I told you not to skip earlier. Utilize that to the best of your ability, and then start fresh again. Redraw your experiment, redraw your boundaries, redo your variables, and try again. You'll be more successful. You'll be surprised of what changes and what new doors and things opens up for what you're trying to create. Interesting. Oh. Seven of Wands. Whoa! And some of that went clear off the table. Hold on. We have the Ten of Wands. So persisting in the face of obstacles. Making sure our energy's in the right spot so we're not hard on ourselves. Three of Swords. Page of Swords in the reverse. The Three of Pentacles in the reverse, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, the Eight of Pentacles, the Six of Fire, the Knight of Swords, the Two of Wands in the reverse, and the Trickster in the reverse. Some of these cards we've been getting repeatedly throughout this entire reading, and they're just in a different order. Alright, my lovelies. I had a camera malfunction. So sorry for the technical issue. You might have noticed the cutaway. I will be honest, anytime I have to, turn off my camera because my dog is trying to eat my mailman through my bay window or anything like that. This time my camera literally stopped itself and I was babbling to myself without realizing I was not recording. So please excuse the cutaway. We are going to try this again and hopefully pick up where we left off. So if it's a poor edit, I do apologize. But let's get back into this, shall we? Yes, persisting in the face of obstacles, learning how to utilize our energy better. That way, we're not making it harder on ourselves. That way, we're not continuously wasting our chances by redoing the same choices, the same directions that aren't going to help us succeed, while at the same time keeping our willpower, our momentum from those failures. Realizing that, yes, there is things we learned that can help us succeed, and that's the direction we need to go in, and to not focus on the negative. We had this earlier, granted I do believe they were this way, but not taking the attachments, not taking the emotion from previous failures, from previous attempts, to not let that color our next attempt, our next experiment. Here's the thing about scientists, that yes, they have goals, they have intentions, they do have structure to their experiments, but every experiment they have to approach it as if it's the first time they've ever done that experiment. So keep the knowledge, push the emotion away. Remain unbiased. Don't let your emotional state from previous failures color the next experiment. But the information that you gain from that, move that forward into the next experiment. So keep what you need, the knowledge. Let go of what you don't need, which is any negativity, any bias, any emotional distress or dissatisfaction of the previous attempt. And hopefully that made a bit more sense the second time around. I'm having to film. I hope so. And yes, by all means, do not skip that data analysis step. Be aware of your failures. Yes, accept them. Let go of the emotion, the attachment to those failures, to those missed opportunities. But keep what you've gained, the knowledge, whether that is learning how not to do something, learning that it's a certain variable you need to keep, learning what needs to go out, what you need to cut out, what doesn't work for a structure. Maybe you're approaching a way of trying to manifest abundance, but your structure about it is all wrong. You've got the right variables, you've got the right pieces, but how you're organizing your pieces is all wrong. And that's why your manifestation has failed. Perhaps, instead of doing mantras, maybe you need to do a vision board. Maybe it's just the approach that needs to change. Maybe it's the variables. But keep previous attempts and the current attempt separate, except for the knowledge that you gained. And make sure that You keep your motivation, that willpower, but don't let it run away with you. Don't rashly act. Make sure that you're being a little bit more tactful, being more purposeful with your intentions, with your actions, with where you're putting your energy. Don't waste your energy. Don't make it harder on yourself. You'll create and be able to streamline better if you go ahead and get a little bit more organization. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. And hopefully, Pile 2, this resonated for you. And if it does, by all means, give me a big thumbs up so I know that this reading resonated with you. Don't be shy. Feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos as they premiere. Feel free to share this video anywhere online. It helps grow the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.